Hello students, how are you? Hope you are fine. Today I will introduce you a plant. I think you are familiar with this plant. Can you say the name of this plant? Yes, it's Touch Me Not plant or Mimosa pudica. What will happen if we touch its leaves? Can anyone say? Yes, the leaf droops. Why did it happen? Yes, due to touch. So my question is, what is the stimulus here for the drooping of the leaves? Yes, it is touch. So, plants show various movements in response to various stimulus. There are two types of movements in plants, tropic movements and nastic movements. You have already know about shoot and root system. This is the root system and this is shoot system. Root grow downwards and shoot grow upwards is a common phenomena in plants. The movement or growth of plant parts are based on certain stimulus such as light, water, gravity, chemicals, etc. If the direction of plant movement in response to the direction of stimulus, it is known as tropic movement. If the direction of plant movement is not dependent upon the direction of stimulus, it is known as nastic movement. I repeat, if the direction of plant movement in accordance with the direction of stimulus, it is known as tropic movement, and if the direction of plant movement is not dependent upon the direction of stimulus, it is known as nastic movement. You may have sometimes seen the root of some trees are extended far from the stem or the trunk. What may be the reason? Yes, the roots search for water. That's why the root grow towards where water is available. So, the movement or growth of plant parts in response to the stimuli water, it is said to be hydrotropic movement or hydrotropism. Here, the root grows towards water and the stem grows away from the water. How many of you have vegetable garden at home? Have you ever noticed the growth of vegetables of cucumber family? Almost all the vegetables of cucumber family are climbers. They have a spirally coiled spring-like structure called tendrils. Do you know the function of tendrils? Can anybody say? Yes. These tendrils helps the climbers for support and attachment. So, the growth or movement of the plant parts in response to the stimulus touch, it is said to be haptotropic movement. Have you heard about the term chemotropism? It is another tropic movement. So, from the term chemotropism itself, we can understand that it is something related to chemicals. Certain chemicals in the ovary helps the growth of pollen tube towards the ovary. So, chemotropism is the growth or movement of plant parts in response to the chemical stimulus. All this time we have been discussing about tropic movements. Now let's see how much you understand about this topic. I will show you a slide. You have to observe and read the table carefully. Then try to rearrange the column correctly.
I will read it for you. Tropic movement. Direction of response is not dependent on the direction of the stimulus. Nastic movement. Direction of plant movement in accordance with the direction of stimulus. Hydrotropism. The growth or movement of plant parts in response to the chemical stimulus. Haptotropism. The growth or movement of plant parts in response to the stimulus of water. Chemotropism. The growth or movement of plant parts in response to the stimulus of touch.
Hope you are finished. Now let's check the answers. First one is tropic moment. If the direction of plant movement in accordance with the direction of stimulus, it is known as tropic moment. Second one is nastic moment. If the direction of response is not dependent on the direction of stimulus, it is known as nastic moment. Third one is hydrotropic moment or hydrotropism. If the growth or movement of plant parts in response to the stimulus water, it is known as hydrotropism or hydrotropic movement. Fourth one is haptotropism. If the growth or movement of plant parts in response to the stimulus of touch, it is known as haptotropic movement or haptotropism. Fifth one is chemotropism. If the growth or movement of plant parts in response to chemical stimulus, it is known as chemotropism. How many of you have indoor plants at home? Have you ever noticed their growth? Yes, the plant make a movement towards outside. What may be the reason behind that? Why the plant make movement towards outside? Yes, plant responds to light. So, the movement or growth of plant parts in response to the stimulus of light, it is known as phototropic movement or phototropism. We know that photo means light. I will give you another example. You are familiar with the flower Helianthus annus or sunflower. Sunflower is a highly phototropic plant. Sunflower grow towards sun. We can clearly visible that the movement of sunflower throughout a day. The last one is geotropism. It is related to gravity. Geotropism is the growth or movement of plant parts in response to force of gravity. There are two types of geotropism, positive and negative geotropism. If the movement of plant towards the direction of gravity, it is known as positive geotropism. For example, the root grow in the soil. If the movement of plant against the direction of gravity, it is known as negative geotropism. For example, the shoot grow outside the soil. Now, I will give you few statements from which you have to find out the right statements and give reasons for wrong statements.
The movement of plant by the influence of light is known as phototropism. In haptotropism, chemical stimulus influence the movements in plants. Movements of plants due to the influence of gravity is known as geotropism. The movement of plant parts in response to the touch stimulus, it is known as haptotropism. Negative geotropism is the movement of plant parts towards the direction of gravity.
Hope you will find out the right and wrong statements. Now let's check the answers. The growth or movement of plant parts in response to the stimulus of light, it is known as phototropism. This statement is correct because light is a stimulus which influences the growth in plants. In haptotropism, chemicals which influence the growth in plants. This statement is wrong because in haptotropism, touch is a stimulus which influences the growth in plants. The growth or movement of plant parts in response to the stimulus of gravity, it is known as geotropism. This statement is right. The movement or growth of plant parts in response to the stimulus of touch, it is known as haptotropism. This statement is right. The movement of plant parts towards the direction of gravity, it is known as negative geotropism. This statement is wrong because the movement of plant parts towards the direction of gravity, it is known as positive geotropism. The movement of plant parts against the direction of gravity, it is known as negative geotropism. At the beginning of the class, I mentioned two types of plant movements. Do you remember what it was? Can anybody say? Yes, tropic moment and nastic moment. Now, let's watch a small video about nastic moment.
Picture plant and the Venus flytrap close and catch their prey as soon as the prey lands on them. The leaves of mimosa or touch-me-not plant close when they are touched. Here, the movement do not depend on the direction of stimulus.
From the video, it is clear that if the direction of movement is not dependent upon the direction of stimulus, it is nastic moment. This chart contains an incomplete table on plant movement. You have to read carefully, then try to fill the blanks with suitable answers. The first column is about plant movement. Second is about stimuli. Third one is about plant parts moves. And fourth one is about direction of movement. So, first one is phototropism. Stem and root are the plant parts moves. Stem grow towards the direction of stimulus and root grow against the direction of stimulus. So, you have to find out the stimuli. In the second one, all the informations are given except the movement. So, you have to find out the plant movement. In the third one, it is about hydrotropism. You have to find out the stimuli and the direction of movement. The fourth one, stimuli, touch, and the direction of movement are given. You have to find out the movement and the plant parts moves. Last one is about chemotropism. You have to find out the stimuli and the direction of movement. Hope you are finished. Now let's check the answers. So first plant movement is phototropism. Stem and root are the plant parts moves. Stem grow towards the direction of stimulus and root grow against the direction of stimulus. So here the stimulus is light. Second plant movement is geotropism. Stimuli is gravity. Stem and root are the plant parts moves. Stem grow against the direction of stimulus. Root grow towards the direction of stimulus. Third one is about hydrotropism. Stem, root are the plant parts moves. Stem grow against the direction of stimulus. Root grow towards the direction of stimulus. Here the stimulus is water. Fourth one is haptotropism. Stimulus is touch. Stem is the plant part moves and the stem grow towards or around the object that causes stimulus. Last one is about chemotropism. Here the stimuli is chemical. Pollen tube is the plant part moves and the pollen tube grow towards the direction of chemicals. I think you get an overall idea about plant movement. Now I will show a slide with the pictures of various plant movement. You have to observe and read carefully, then try to find out the plant movements. Okay, clear? In the first picture, we can see the growth of pollen tube towards the ovary. In the second picture, we can see the growth of root towards the water. In the third picture, we can see the growth of plants towards the sunlight. In the fourth picture, climbers grow towards and around the support. In the fifth picture, we can see the growth of plant parts towards and against the gravity.
Let's see the answers. A. Chemotropism. B. Hydrotropism. C. phototropism, D. haptotropism, and E. geotropism.
Today we discussed about plant movements. There are two types of plant movements, tropic movement and nastic movement. If the direction of plant movement in accordance with the direction of stimulus, it is known as tropic movement. If the direction of plant movement is not dependent on the direction of stimulus, it is known as nastic movement. We have studied 5 tropic movements in detail, that is hydrotropism, haptotropism, chemotropism, phototropism and geotropism. The movement or growth of plant parts in response to the stimulus water, it is known as hydrotropism. Second one is haptotropism. If the growth or movement of plant parts in response to the stimulus touch, it is known as haptotropism. Third one is chemotropism. If the growth or movement of plant parts in response to the stimulus of chemical, it is known as chemotropism. And fourth one is phototropism. If the growth or movement of plant parts in response to the stimulus light, it is known as phototropism. And the last one is geotropism. If the growth or movement of plant parts in response to the stimulus of gravity, it is known as geotropism.
There is a homework for you. Construct a word wheel on tropic movements. Prepare an album using various pictures of plant movements. And conduct a mini project showing the influence of sunlight on plants.